All right, let's bring attorney Richard A. Alexander into the conversation.
Hi,
yeah,
Brad.
man. Yes, sir.
I was going to say, I learned a lot just from listening to Kelly and Connor.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, good stuff. So tell us a little bit more about your business and what you're doing out there, Richard.
Well, I've been an attorney for 20 years. I've been a professor for 18 years. And honestly, if I could do that full time, I certainly would. It fulfills a part of me that practice of law does not.
That's cool.
And love doing that. And like I said, I just wish I could do it full time.
Yeah.
I taught a class last night, and just an incredible high. But I've been practicing law 20 years.
That's awesome. So being an educator is part of your repertoire, and so what do you think it is that you get out? Just the fact that you're affecting young minds and you're kind of leading them through their journey.
For me, I think it's a lot like an actor or a comedian feels when they're on stage.
Yep.
The response is immediate.
Right.
So it's an instant gratification.
Okay.
So you know exactly when the light bulb is going off, or you know if you're making a connection because they'll ask a question or feed on what you just said.
Interesting. Okay. Good stuff. All right, stay with us when we come back. More from attorney Richard A. Alexander, and he's talking about DUI law, trials, and other ways that he can help anyone out there in our listening audience, and maybe you're a viewer of our TV show on WeBeam TV. But stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be right back after this short break. All right, so let's go back to attorney Richard A. Alexander here in studio. So you had mentioned you want to talk about DUIs. What are you seeing in that space out there?
Well, we talked last time about if you thought there was some sort of downturn in DUI law with Uber.
Right.
The
I
birth
was
of
wondering.
Uber and Lyft, and I have not seen that decline.
Yeah.
And I think, we last talked about that. One of the reasons is that the immediacy of having your car keys,
Right.
And the power that automobiles give us,
Yep.
the freedom, the individualism, and I think people are saying, well, I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even buzzed. I'll be, I'll make
Yeah.
it home.
Yeah, that's what they'll say, and then next
Right.
thing you know, they got the red lights or the blue lights in their mirror,
Right.
and all of a sudden now they're scared.
I always call DUI there, but for the grace of God go I, offense. Cause,
Yeah.
we've probably all been there where we just probably weren't in the base shape to drive, but we made it home.
You're close. Yeah, sometimes you're close, and did you eat a meal? That's the whole
Right.
thing. I think too many times, people don't eat enough food to offset, and then then they just think, oh well, I only had 2 or 3, but 2 or 3 on an empty stomach for if you weigh 120 pounds, 140 pounds, that's where it comes into getting yourself in trouble.
Yeah, eating is a big part of it. It's, because there's 2 things that have to do with DUI cases. That's absorption versus elimination, and those are the 2 things you have to keep constant when you're talking about DUI type cases.
Yeah, absolutely. And the judges, when you're in front of a judge, I mean, you represent people in these cases. The judges they're not playing games in there. They're pretty tough about this.
No, it's very serious in the Tampa Bay area. Florida has an insane problem with DUI cases. No matter what county it is,
Yeah.
it's a real issue, and it's not so much just the DUI itself.
Right.
Certainly, the sentencing on DUI law is all mandatory.
Wow.
That means there's no discretion
Right.
afforded by the judge or the prosecutor.
Wow.
So even though a first-time DUI is a misdemeanor, it's not going to feel like that by the time it's all said and done.
Right. It's going to hit your pocketbook, your wallet, your relationships, your business. You could get fired over this.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. I mean, I've had employers, bosses actually hire me because they have such value for the employee, and I've also had situations in which people get fired just on the arrest.
Yeah.
So much for innocent until proven guilty, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And speaking of that, do you take the breathalyzer? Do you not? Right. So when you sign your agreement to have a driver's license, you're signing away, not away a right, but you're signing saying that you do consent. You're going to consent to a DUI test, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things that blows people's minds out of the water. They have no idea that they have signed on the driver's license that if asked to take a sobriety test as required by law,
Right.
they will do so.
Yeah.
And it's right below your signature. So if you were to look at your Florida driver's license, right below your signature, it actually says that operation of motor vehicle, you have consented to any field sobriety as required by law.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't know that. And
Yeah.
when you refuse to provide a breath sample, your license gets suspended automatically 1 year.
Wow.
Even if the DUI case gets dismissed,
Wow.
which is purely administrative. That's between you and the Department of Motor Vehicles.
That's it, man. That's a tough one, because then you can get a work permit, but then it's really putting a hamper on your life. for most people, unless you live downtown in areas where walkability is there.
That's if you're eligible for a permit.
Wow. Yeah, you got to be eligible for proving that.
Correct.
So what other trial type stuff are you doing out there? How are you helping the consumers?
Well, I think a lot of the thing I do is, this may seem, not, but I literally take phone calls all day, every day about people that just say, hey, I just have a question. Can I just ask you?
Yeah.
And I say, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's an honor and a privilege to be an attorney.
Yep.
I know the hard work I went through. I know my colleagues as well. And when somebody calls, I will gladly give them, 15, 20 minutes if they need that over the phone.
Yeah.
Because you know what preventive medicine is, yes?
Right.
Okay. You go to the doctor so you don't have to go to the doctor.
Right.
I look at it the same way with preventive law. You ask the lawyer so you don't have to go to a lawyer. Good
metaphor. Yeah. So what kind of questions are you fielding on a daily basis?
A lot of them are more civil than anything else. Hey, can I sue somebody? I think I have mold in my apartment.
Yeah.
The landlord is not fixing, the air conditioning. Can I sue him for that? Can I just break my lease? A lot of questions are mostly civil in nature because people just want to know, hey, what can I do about this?
Landlord tenant, I imagine there's a lot there. Oh, he didn't fix this, I'm going to not pay my rent. Well, that's
Correct.
the wrong thing to do. Now he can evict you. So then, you end up spending money. But to go back to that previous question, you're looking at, you have to prove damages. If you're going to sue somebody, right, you have to have damages.
You always must prove damages.
Yeah.
Although you don't have a case, basically. Right. There are some type of cases there, like defamation, for instance, where you can have damages per se, but no, at the end of the day, you're going to have to show how has this affected your pocketbook.
What about internet? I just see so many times, people going online and leaving reviews, maybe a false review for somebody on Google, and that hurts. That's almost like getting punched in the face. Nowadays when you have a business and you got, people that are going online, people can write whatever they want. And it's going to bring down your Google rating. If you're a realtor, your Zillow rating is going to go from 4.5 stars to whatever however many you have. There's an equation there, right? But is there action for a business owner there if someone's leaving a review that's not true?
You can if it's factual, and that did not happen. I mean, you can always post an opinion. I didn't like the seafood. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But if you can put a review online that is factual, and then it's just a complete lie, yes, you may have a defamation case.
Yeah, it's. I'll talk to you off air about one that, that it's just ridiculous. That the buyer goes and approaches a seller in the evening, after we're already negotiating. The seller's had a couple of glasses of wine, and then all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can't do that. That's kind of outside of the rules of working with the buyer agent and the seller agent and approaching the seller. After he's had his evening wine.
Yeah, if you're going to post a review online, there's certain words you need to be very cautious about, like the word like liar or thief.
Right.
Those are factual-based words, and you better be very careful if you put something like that online.
You got to prove that. We're talking with attorney Richard A. Alexander here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, one of our legal contributors. Some good stuff there. Good general knowledge, general advice. Because it is an internet-based world we live in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. So you're doing DUI defense, helping with that side of the thing.
Criminal defense.
Defense.
The firm I'm associated with, we do a lot of personal injury cases, but generally with personal injury cases, the lawyers kind of stay out of that in the beginning, at least for the year and a half, because the client is treating that entire time.
Okay.
At least you hope they are.
Yes. Yeah. Doing the right things.
Correct.
Because everything's a process, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So especially with personal injury, because people are genuinely hurt, and they want to be treated, obviously, and that's a long process because that's where the medical professionals get on board.
Right.
I never tell a doctor how to treat a patient. That's none of my business. And that's between the doctor and the patient. And so we let that process, and usually it takes months, sometimes years.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, that's good stuff. Attorney Richard A. Alexander, our legal analyst here on the Consumer Quarterback Show.